be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System?
It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really...
Keep telling yourself it's only a video game. It's only a...
Huh?
DuckTales game for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Which way?
Ah, hello, young traveler. Well met. Come, join me by my fire, won't you? What? This is my trusty rake. True, it may not be as mighty as Shovel Knight's spade, but I'm proud of it all the same. What? You mean to tell me you've never heard the tale of Shovel Knight? Well, come closer. Allow me to tell you a tale of bravery,
Chivalry of the highest order, and of all, the great Shovel Knight. Our tale begins with the mighty Shovel Knight, who after an epic clash hath lost his faithful companion Shield Knight. And you know what, I'm just gonna drop the medieval times accent.
Do it.
No, that was part of the line. Shovel Knight follows Shovel Knight, a knight who shovels at night, sometimes. You must embark on an epic quest to rescue Shield Knight and face the Enchantress while defeating the members of the Order of No Quarter.
The story is very inspired by the NES era of gaming. A jumpy little guy starting off on an endeavor to rescue the insert NPC in distress here. With Yacht Club Games having kind of subverted as not being a princess, except Shield Knight still kind of fills that role of just being the generic rescue target anyway. You make your way across the game map, running through several themed levels, all of which end with a boss fight for each level.
Also, for the purpose of simplicity, I'm playing just the base game. I'm not playing the other DLCs. It's a lot of game, and I can play those later on.
Shovel Knight borrows heavily from classic NES games like Zelda, Super Mario Bros., and Mega Man. Well, mostly Mega Man.
Hey, those are on the list too.
Yacht Club Games really went all in aiming to recreate the feel of retro gaming on the NES, and they did a pretty damn good job. You can tell they did their research, 8-bit art style, restricting themselves to the NES color palette. The game is also just as forgiving as the old NES games too. Difficult platforming challenges that require you to really think through your next move and not just blindly rush in, spread out checkpoints, and insta-kill death spikes and pits. The one thing that Yacht Club Games decided to not do was add a multiple lives system, so you can just bash yourself against the wall as many times as you want, only with the threat of a loss of gold in the end.
Now, you don't lose the gold completely. You do have a chance to recover it once you respawn, and it kind of makes the game feel like the Dark Souls of... No, don't say it. No, 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 no!
In the early game, this does actually feel threatening, especially when you're really trying to expand your artillery and upgrade your character. However, you can hit this point midway through the second section and have some spare change to get the last few upgrades, so the threat of dying becomes a minor inconvenience rather than a devastating setback. I feel like it would be a little more upsetting if you were scored on a total treasure at the end of a run, but you're not, so again, it's literally meaningless after you've built up your character. Oh yeah, I should actually talk about the core game mechanics. It's a platformer, so lots of jumping and swinging your shovel. But as I said before, you're not limited to your shovel. Oh no, this game has several different items you can use a la Castlevania. Some are offensive power-ups like the fire wand and throwing anchors, but then most of the other items are for mobility, like the mobility gear to travel across dangerous terrain, the propeller blade that balances some offense and mobility, and the most satisfying mobility power-up ever. Oh yeah.
At the end of each level, you fight a boss who's a member of the Order of No Quarter, and each one of these bosses is based off of one specific aspect that's a theme throughout the whole level. It's really cool and it's really interesting, and I'd love to go into more detail about each boss fight, but I can't really do that and make this a timely video.
What I will go into is that these boss fights are so fun and imaginative. Each one utilizes elements from the level you just got through to act as a final test, like Mole Knight sending walls of sand blocks at you that you need to dig up or dust knuckle your way through. Or the Tinker Knight having a giant lance that looks like those things that you stuck to early in the level. Oh god, I love game design that teaches you without annoying pop-ups.
Once you defeat all the members of the Order of No Quarter and make your way to the Enchantress's castle at the end of the game, you find yourself accidentally interrupting their dinner party. And as a party foul for this social faux pas, you have to fight all the bosses one at a time with a slight meal break in between.
While difficult, it's actually really fun. I was always the kid that liked revisiting boss challenges in games, so I was all about this when we got here. And boy, was it satisfying to get through. Really having to keep you on your toes and remembering which boss you were up against to remember each strategy you had to encounter on the way here. In Super Mario Bros. 3, the map offered several secrets, bonuses, and little bits for you to find on your way through the game. Using that as inspiration, Yacht Club Games added in several extra levels that appear throughout the map. Most are extra boss fights with wandering travelers, and some are bonus levels to test your skills with new weapons. In terms of secrets, most of the secret areas are in the levels themselves. These could be hidden behind walls, a secret ladder, or a special way to traverse in that level specifically. Which, speaking of level-specific traversal, as I said, each level is themed around the knight you must face at the end, and throughout the levels are specific hazards and obstacles that pertain to the boss. They can be as simple as the falling chandeliers in King Knight's castle, or the different types of blocks you dig through in Mole Knight's caverns. Most times, each level has more than one of these elements, which makes it hard to actually list out everything because we could be here for hours, and I don't have time for that. Also, the levels give you ample time to learn the flow of each stage hazard. Usually, you enter an area like this, and the hazards are already there, giving you as the player a chance to see what's coming and prepare yourself for how to handle this section of the game. What's great about this is it keeps the game feeling fresh. No two levels are alike, and it keeps you wanting more and more at the conclusion of each level.
So as we close on the tale of Shovel Knight, I can confidently say that it's an enjoyable experience. Frustrating in more of its challenging places, but still nonetheless a great time. I want to say that the game made me nostalgic for an era that I was not a part of, but I can't really because I was born in 1995. The era it's trying to emulate was several years before me, and I didn't even gain consciousness until I was 3 years old. Nostalgia is a pretty funny thing when you think about it. Hell, I could be even nostalgic for when this game came out. I mean, it's almost 10 years old. Over 10 years old at this point. It's easy to forget that the feeling of nostalgia isn't that like warm, exciting feeling you get when you're remembering the good old days and the old games that you used to play. It's that longing feeling, that sadness that you can't go back to how it used to be. Back when you had endless summers and hours that you could hang out with your friends playing the games that you loved and sitting there exploring all these exciting worlds in these fun little video games that we played. It's that feeling of just wanting to go back one last time and play one more level with your friends. And that's the hard part. 8 out of 10, but these spike pits were f***ing